This class is brought to you by the LA Care and Blue Shield Promise Community Resource Centers. The centers are a place to help you be active, healthy, and informed. We hope you enjoy this virtual class.
Today's class is on asparagus and more. And the more part is, what do we know about this vegetable? You see here it has some eggs with it and a few other things. As we go through, you're going to see the importance of what asparagus can be used for. Choosing the right asparagus, that's where we need to start out first. How do we even choose the asparagus? First, we want to look at the stalk or the spears. Are they straight and firm? Then, what is the thickness of them? Are they skinny or are they a little bit thicker? Which ones do we look at? We can see here the thicker stalks are the ones that are going to be more tender when they're cooked. A tough woody base is very normal. Like when you see it sitting in the water, you'll see that it has like a woody base to it. That's just normal. That's just normal. You do want to cut that off first though. And then you want to avoid any asparagus that when you're picking it up and you feel it's kind of like mushy at the tip, you don't want that because that means it's starting to degrade and it's not going to be as fresh. So you want to get them where they're firm, they're a little bit thicker, and it may have a little bit of a woody base to it. How do we store asparagus? That is very critical. Asparagus is very perishable, and that's because it's very fragile. Whenever we pick it up from the store, we want to make sure we chill it quickly. You notice in the store they always have a little bit of water on the bottom of it, and they also have it in the refrigerated section. And when you do get it, you want to make sure that you use it within 1 to 2 days. Do not wash it before, because what happens, it'll start getting mold or mildew or something like that on it, which obviously you don't want to eat anything that has that on it, unless it's a mushroom, which is, kind of like a fungus. It's in and of itself. And you want to wash it just before you cook it. So here you're noticing you're not going to wash it ahead of time, but you are going to wash it before you cook it, and that's just before you cook it. And then if you're going to eat it raw, so here you're learning that you don't have to cook it, you can eat it raw. Let's take a look at some of the benefits that it has. And notice here in the picture, some of the ones that I did grill is I have both green and white. And in a little bit, you're going to learn a little bit more about the green versus the white ones. Look at all the vitamins that it has. It has A, B6, B9, C, E, K. It also has iron, magnesium, folate, copper, potassium, phosphorus, selenium, zinc. And the fiber that it has boosts your immune system and energy, and it also helps to cleanse your urinary tract because it also has fiber, a lot of fiber in it. But what's interesting is it has the potassium, and it also has the selenium, and selenium is good for both your hair and nails. So this is one of those good things, and potassium is good for your muscles and things like that. So this is one of those things that you can eat, and it's not going to be high in calories either. Okay, let's look at this. First of all, let's talk about fiber, which you see that little notation at the bottom. Fiber is recommended that you have 22 to 23 grams per day, and the average American does not get that, and the reason they don't is because they're not eating enough vegetables. You have to eat more vegetables to get that. I also talk a lot about making sure that when you're eating vegetables, you try to get the rainbow, and here's a good example of why. You have two different things that are in the same family, both asparagus, one green, one white, but you can see the difference in the nutrients that you're going to get. You see the difference in the calories, the carbs, the protein, the fiber, and sugar. One has sugar, the other one doesn't. So if you use some of one and some of the other one, you're going to get the best from the asparagus as a whole. And then here we look at, in general, just looking at both of them, regardless of which one you get, you're going to see that the calcium, you're getting quite a bit of calcium, but let's look at the selenium. Remember I mentioned selenium for hair, skin, nails? You can see where this is one that's very good for your hair, skin, and nails. Another thing that's high in selenium, and selenium is also good for your thyroid, is going to be Brazil nuts. But if you do Brazil nuts, you only want those maybe no more than 2 per day. But if you combine Brazil nuts with asparagus, you're going to be able to get a lot of selenium, and you can build it up in your hair, skin, and nails. Extra bonus there. Okay, here's a recipe suggestion. And let me show you this. You saw eggs in the very beginning, and here's where you can make a asparagus quiche, and what I did is you have asparagus and artichoke, and you make it into a quiche, and that's very good. But here's a couple of other suggestions that I had, and that's a pasta primavera, which basically is a vegetable pasta, but what you do is you add asparagus and some peas to it. That's excellent. You can do a bacon wrapped asparagus, and you've seen that where you take it, not just one, but you can take it like a little bundle, a few of them together, and wrap it around. You can put it in the oven, you can put it on the grill, you can do a lot of things with that. You can have mushroom with asparagus, and if you add mushrooms, you're going to be adding vitamin D, which is excellent. You can have a rice pilaf and asparagus, and you can have asparagus with shrimp and rice. So here are a couple of other suggestions where you just don't have to have the asparagus by itself, but you can have it with something else. And here we go, and we have another little picture where I'm showing you that I use, some eggs. You can take the eggs, you can make the quiche, you can add that to it. So this is a quick little information on asparagus and how asparagus can be eaten, beneficial, and useful to you. And I want to thank you for watching, and thank you so much for joining me. We look forward to seeing you virtually again next week and at one of our resource centers as soon as we can. Until then, stay active, healthy, and informed. An important message: all information, content, and material of this video is for informational purposes only and are not intended to serve as a substitute for the consultation, diagnosis, and/or medical treatment of a qualified physician or healthcare provider. The information contained on this video is compiled from a variety of sources and is not considered complete. Information is subject to change without notice. If you have a medical emergency, call your doctor or 911 immediately.